Are you looking for the best USB audio interfaces? In this video, we will look at some of the 5 best USB audio interfaces on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen. The Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen is our favorite 2-channel USB audio interface for most musicians because it offers logically laid-out controls and indicators. It's one of the few interfaces we've encountered that never forced us to think about which control or connection to use, or how to use it. Simply put, using the Scarlett 2i2 felt as intuitive to us as a favorite hammer would feel to a professional carpenter. The latest, 4th Gen version incorporates some useful features not found on our previous top pick, the Scarlett 2i2 3rd Gen. Setting gain is easy, no matter how inexperienced you are. The 4th Gen model adds an auto gain function to set recording levels automatically. This comes in handy for beginners, and even for experts during long recording sessions, when their focus might be flagging. Auto gain produced more conservative settings, and thus a weaker recorded signal than we would have set manually, but it always gave us a solid result nonetheless. You can still set the gain manually, and more quickly, just by turning the input level knob and watching the level metering LED ring surrounding the knob. It works the same as on the last couple generations of Scarlett 2i2 interfaces. There's also a new clip safe feature that makes it impossible to record at too high a level, which would clip or distort the signal. However, because it can squash the dynamics of a recording, we'd use it only when recording an amateur musician, or an overly rambunctious podcast guest, who's incapable of performing at a consistent level. The 4th Gen version offers other potentially useful upgrades. You get a dual-mode version of the air button found on the 3rd Gen model, which was intended to create a more vintage sound. The two new modes are presence, which boosts frequencies above about 60 Hz, to a maximum of plus 3.8 decibels at 20 kHz, and harmonic drive, which is said to add harmonics and introduces a dip of about minus 3 dB centered at 500 Hz, and which also reduces the bass by about minus 3 dB relative to the treble. Number 2. Focusrite Vocaster Two. I didn't realize I needed a different USB interface for podcasting, but after just 5 minutes of using the Focusrite Vocaster Two, I didn't want to record a podcast with anything else. This interface isn't our choice for recording music, but anyone who is serious about podcasting will probably find it to be well worth the investment. Its design and features are perfect for podcasting. The Vocaster 2 has headphone outputs for a host and a guest, plus large headphone volume knobs for you to adjust the listening level. It also offers a mute button for each input, a huge convenience when you need to cough or clear your throat, and the Bluetooth connection makes adding background and bumper music simple. The Vocaster 2 also has 3.5 mm stereo connections for line input from an audio device and a camera. The best feature is the Enhance tool, with which you select one of 4 sound presets independently for the host and the guest. The presets are labeled Clean, Warm, Bright, and Radio. All add dynamic range compression to smooth out the peaks and dips in the sound, plus a low-pass filter to reduce bumping sounds, footfalls, and microphone handling noise. The operation of the modes is pretty consistent with what the names suggest. Our favorite was Radio, which cut the mid-range a bit and boosted the bass. My podcast partner, Dennis, and I both found ourselves using it all the time because it made our voices sound a little fuller and clearer. Setting the gain level for either the host or the guest is simple. Press the button for that input, and then speak into the microphone in a normal voice for 10 seconds. The system then makes the adjustment automatically. You can still adjust the gain manually with the central knob, using large, intuitive level meters that bracket the knob on the left and right. The Vocaster Hub computer app controls many of the Vocaster 2's functions and provides an on-screen mixer for you to incorporate loopback audio, plus audio from the Bluetooth and line inputs. Number 3. Universal Audio Volt 2. For certain people, specifically, anyone needing 5-pin MIDI jacks, the ability to record to an iPhone, or a more powerful headphone amp to drive their monitoring headphones, the Universal Audio Volt may second be a better choice than the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen, but we found its layout and indicators to be less user-friendly. It has some nice extras that our top pick lacks. The MIDI jacks will come in handy if you have an older keyboard, sampler, or drum machine that has 5-pin MIDI connections but no USB, and you want an integrated solution instead of having to use an adapter. The Volt 2 is compatible with iPhones as well as iPads, and it can draw power from an external 5-volt power supply so that it doesn't run down the battery of your tablet or phone. The Volt 2 has an unusually powerful headphone amp, which in our tests put out 106 milliwatts into a 32-ohm load, compared with 34 milliwatts for the Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen. That's an extra 4.9 dB of volume, which could be an advantage if you're using low-sensitivity audiophile headphones. It also has a vintage button, which boosts the treble by plus 2.0 dB at 20 kHz, similar to what the presence mode on the Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen does. This offers a quick way to liven up a dull-sounding microphone or vocalist. The maximum digital audio resolution is 24-bit/192 kHz. This interface is a little less user-friendly. The Volt 2 places its two input jacks side by side and clusters the controls in a separate section, with the controls for the first input on top and the controls for the second input beneath. There's nothing wrong with that layout, but we found the Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen's layout to be a little more intuitive. The Volt 2's signal level meter consists of two small LEDs for each channel. The bottom one glows green when a signal is present, and the top one glows yellow when the signal is approaching clipping and red when it's clipping. The meter works fine, but to us its presentation was a little less visually intuitive than the Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen's LED ring. Number 4. Universal Audio Volt 276. Comparing the Universal Audio Volt 276 to the Volt 2 is like comparing a Lexus to the equivalent Toyota model. It does basically the same thing but has a more deluxe design and a couple of extra features. The Volt 276 generally sells for about $100 more than the Volt 2, and it's larger and heavier, with a layout similar to that of a mixing board. It includes onboard compression. By making the soft parts of a recording louder and the loud parts softer, a compressor can make recordings sound more professional. Adding compression during the recording process can save time because you may not have to add more compression when you're mixing, though you can take it out later. The onboard compressor also makes it a little easier to avoid clipping when you're setting the record level. The Volt 276 offers one compressor per channel, with no controls other than presets for 3 modes: vocals, guitar, and fast, which works well for drums. We were happy to hear that none of these modes impose the heavy-handed, suck the life out of the music compression effect that many audiophiles complain about. Its design and layout give it a more professional feel. With its wood sides and uncrowded layout, this USB audio interface has a more serious, professional appearance than most others. It has twice the desktop footprint of the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen, but that makes it more stable, which could come in handy when you are connecting and disconnecting cables. The top panel knobs are easy to access, and easier to adjust precisely than front panel knobs. The Volt 276 has large, 5-segment LED meters for input and output signal level, which makes setting the gain a little easier. Number 5. Audient Evo 4. The Audient Evo 4 is a great choice for budget-minded beginners, not just for its low price but also for its Smart Gain automatic gain setting function, which ensures the input levels aren't too high, too low, or unmatched. Though the Evo 4's control panel is less straightforward than those of our other picks, we got used to it quickly, and we came to appreciate the precision of the 19-step LED level indicator. Auto Gain makes setting the recording level especially easy. Just hit the green Smart Gain button, and then tap the button for the input you want to adjust, 1 or 2, or both, if you're recording in stereo and want the channel levels to match. Then press Smart Gain again, which makes the button glow red. Now play or sing until the Smart Gain button flashes green twice. In our tests, Smart Gain always gave us a recording level with a fairly strong signal and low noise, and it never left us in a situation where we risked clipping, that is, distortion, due to a too high input level. We were consistently satisfied with the results, and we think most amateur recording engineers would be too. If not, the Evo 4 also lets you set gain manually by pushing an input button and turning the knob. You might be able to get a stronger signal level this way, but the tweaking process isn't as simple as it is with the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen. The other design and control choices are unusual but workable. To adjust input gain, monitor, or headphone level, or to mix between direct monitoring of the inputs and monitoring what's coming out of the computer, tap the appropriate button on top of the Evo 4, and then turn the single knob. We had to glance at the manual to figure that out, but we became proficient almost immediately. The company offers the Evo Control app, which lets you control all of these functions from a laptop, but we never felt the need to use it.